Hey everybody, so today I wanted to do an old style chit chat with you guys. First and foremost, I wanted to say sorry for last week. Unintentionally took some time off. I did originally have other plans, but stuff happened, life happened. So I wanted to make some kind of chit chat video. Been feeling in the mood for one of those for quite some time. And I was actually going to try and film a favorites video today during nap time and get that up for you instead of this, but my grandma came and visited us. So I did not film the favorites video and I wanted to put this up. So later this week you guys should have a what's for dinner video coming, and I just wanted to kind of throw in a video beforehand to let you know that all is well and kind of give you an update and stuff. So this is like a late night chatty kind of chit chat video and no real purpose or anything like that. Just wanted to kind of stop in and check in with you guys and stuff. I am clothed. I am fully clothed under here. I'm just cold, so I have my blanket wrapped around me. And yeah, so I have my chai, and grab a drink for yourself. We'll talk. Well, I'll talk, you'll listen, because that's how this works. But you guys can leave me comments like you always do. And yeah, I guess I'll just start with last week. It was rough. It was rougher than I had expected. Last week was, reflecting back when Mark and I were going through so much. This channel was like, for all intents and purposes, a diary, a journal of some sort for me to come to and deal with our grief and our losses and everything that we experienced with trying to have Lexi. And the past couple years, infant and pregnancy awareness day, week, month has been really difficult for me. It's something that last year I didn't even fully understand. I just knew that I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't want to have anything really to do about it. And I didn't post much. I felt obligated to. I felt like a lot of people expected me to. So that's why I said and did a few things. But if it was up to me, if I had no public platform, I probably would have ignored it. And this year it came around and it made me feel very anxious. I felt really anxious the weeks leading up to it as well. Anytime I thought about it, it just felt like this huge weight sitting on my chest. I had a really good conversation with my therapist and also with Mark about how I was feeling and the emotions and stuff like that. And my therapist had encouraged me to maybe cope with things a little bit more privately than what I typically do, and that was in hopes to bring on less anxiety for myself. So I did stay really quiet, and that actually did help a lot. If we're just being completely 100%, I let you guys see the grief that I thought was acceptable or normal amounts of it, but I packed up the worst of what happened to us and I kind of put it in a box and figured time heals all. And I've never dealt with it. I haven't talked about it. I don't think that I've really gone through a lot, especially the physical aspect of it. I noticed that in the week leading up to the Infant and Pregnancy Awareness Week that my PTSD was regressing a bit. In general, my mental health in a whole kind of took a backslide. So last week was necessary for myself to focus on taking care of myself, which felt good. Felt like I was doing the work, taking the good steps, and my therapist and I are working on unpacking a lot of the things that I'm afraid to unpack. But I wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you to all of you who understood what I had posted on social media and who had sent me, well thoughts and wishes to do with that, or just because of the day, the week, the month. I really do appreciate those things. You guys were here in literally like the darkest time of my life, and I have never forgotten that for a second. So I don't ever want my silence to be mistaken as I'm glazing over this part of my life or anything like that, even though I feel like even if I wanted to, I don't really owe anybody, an obligation to keep reliving something, but that's not what's happening. Like, I think there's this narrative around trauma where if it's been so long, you should just be over it, and that's just not how it works. So if you're dealing with trauma that some people don't seem to understand, or maybe you have a negative self-narrative in your own head about, you know, this should have been dealt with, this was forever ago, why is this a problem now, things like that, it's not that simple, and, you know, you deserve the help to get through it. So last week, because of that, and also just because of, I feel like the start of the craziness, you know, there's just so many things going on in this season. You know, the kids have just gone back to school, and then we're starting to gear up for holidays and everything else, and I know a lot of kiddos and families are sick right now, you know, not even necessarily COVID, just common colds, RSV, hand, foot, mouth. I feel like I have been hearing a ton about how it's just going around a lot more this year. So, you know, my well wishes to all of you guys, but just kind of feels like the craziness of the season is starting even sooner than what it did in the years past. So it was nice to have a little bit of a break, but I did not intend to take it, and I also meant to film this past weekend, but I got really caught up in a lot of birthday prep for Sophie's birthday party. So her birthday party will be this coming weekend, which means next week you guys will be seeing a birthday party decor and setup and stuff. Little spoiler alert, she wants a dino party, so that's what I'm doing. It's not like a typical dinosaur party. There's not just gonna be dinosaurs plastered everywhere, but I took more of like a paleontologist take to it because she is really interested in that as a profession. So obviously centered around dinosaurs, being a paleontologist, but maybe like a little bit more of an older take on the theme, and something that I think she's really gonna enjoy. So this weekend I went live on Instagram. I was painting dinosaurs that I had bought from the Dollar Tree, which came out so cute. I can't wait to show you guys. And then Saturday I spent the whole day with Mark. My mom took all three girls all weekend long, so we had a kid-free weekend, which was very much needed and appreciated and enjoyed. So Saturday we just spent the day like running errands and kind of like working on our own stuff for a little bit, and going out, getting lunch, and then coming back, and I made dinner, which was one of the dinners that you'll see later this week in the What's for Dinner. So we did that, and then we also watched Squid Games, which we started. We've watched 3 episodes of, and so far I really like it, and so does Mark. And then we watched a movie. I wanted to watch a horror movie, and we ended up watching, what's it called? My Heart Only Beats If You Tell It To, or something like that. It was like Rotten Tomatoes #1 horror flick for 2021, and let me tell you, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. That movie legitimately made me angry. It is about vampires. It's a unique take. I think it's a really realistic take too, and Mark and I both enjoyed the fact that it felt like a really realistic movie, but the plot and the storyline was so aggravating as a woman to watch, and I'll just leave it at that. So it was horrible, and I don't recommend it. But yeah, we watched that movie, and then after that we played some Back 4 Blood, which is the sequel or whatever you want to call it for Left 4 Dead, which even though there was a Left 4 Dead 2, it didn't really, I think, do as well as the original Left 4 Dead did. And if you didn't know, Left 4 Dead was the video game that I used to play a ton throughout high school and even afterwards because I just loved it so much. It's a zombie game. Left 4 Dead 2, I think, got released maybe a couple or a few years after Left 4 Dead. But like I said, it didn't do as well, and there's just never been another game since. They kept promising, and it just never happened. And finally, this one is out. And we did play some of it. We're not super happy with how it is right now, but it seems like they've been hearing the feedback and they're willing to adjust things, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that that stuff happens. But so far so good. Anyways, we did a lot of that stuff on Saturday, and then Sunday I spent literally all morning long making paper mache dino eggs. I do not recommend just buy them somewhere. That's my takeaway from it. I didn't realize how long it was going to take. I thought that I could like paper mache some eggs, like obviously considerable sizes. I blew up balloons. I don't actually, right here. You see that laundry basket? Those are all balloons that are filled up that have about 3/4 the way paper mache up them. And that's what I'm going to be using for the dino eggs. I just have to let the bottoms of those dry completely, pop the balloon, pull them out, and paint them. But I thought it'd be pretty easy. I mean, granted, I did 15 eggs. 6 were little, 5 were like medium, and 4 were large. So just kind of blew up the balloons different sizes, but that was kind of the gist. I did not think it would take that long though, especially because I had more of the little ones. I literally spent 4 hours just paper macheing alone. That's not cleanup, that wasn't prep from the night before or anything like that. So it was interesting, but I also did get to watch the series Made on Netflix that you guys recommended, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. Pretty sure when I had looked it up on my phone, it said actually that it was made by Margot Robbie and the same people who made Shameless, which I very much got the Shameless vibe, and I love Margot Robbie. I'll watch anything that she's in. Recently watched I, Tonya because it was on, what was that? I want to say HBO, but I don't think that's right. Either way, I watched that recently and that was a great movie too. But either way, about Made, it was amazing. I highly recommend it. There is a considerable amount of content warnings and trigger warnings that I would look into, but really good if you've got the space for it. So I watched that, about half of that while I was paper macheing those eggs, and that took a long time, and by the time I got done with that, I was drained. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of work. Like, in my head, I had this, like, you know, you paper mache a volcano in the 2nd grade, and how hard is that? Did it get harder? Am I getting older? Is it the fact that I was doing 15 of them? That's probably the problem. But oh my gosh, it got away from me. And then we went to my mom's for dinner, brought the girls back home and everything. And then tonight, like I said, my grandma had came over earlier and kind of hung out with us after we got school done. And then when Mark got home, we started carving pumpkins and watching Halloween movies. So it's been an eventful, packed weekend and plus Monday. So yeah, and it has no intentions of slowing either. This week we're hoping to get some stuff done with our car, and anytime you gotta go to a dealership and deal with that kind of stuff, you know it takes hours. So one night this week, Mark's gonna go up and do that stuff by himself, so we've got that to look forward to. Friday is my grandpa's birthday, and I think I'm gonna let the girls spend the night so that I can get some birthday party prep done, and then Saturday is normally, like, the day before a birthday party is always just like prep. So I will be doing a whole bunch of stuff that day, and then Sunday is her birthday party. So like I said, we got a full week plus, you know, homeschool and everything else. So I'm trying my hardest. I know you guys are so patient. There has never been a time on this channel in the, what, 7-8 years that I've been doing it, that you guys have ever once made me feel pressured to make something or rush back or anything. You guys have always been patient, understanding, supportive, everything. So when I say this kind of stuff, it does not mean that I get any other impression from you guys. It's just, I hate doing it to you. I hate just like not doing anything for an extended amount of time and not saying anything to you guys. I don't want to leave you in the lurch. I don't want to leave you not knowing. And yeah, I was just kind of trying to gather all my own thoughts about it too, because I thought about posting something on Instagram, but I was just like, from the weekend and everything else, it just felt like I haven't had a moment recently to even stop and think about stuff. But here I am now. So yes. Oh, it's been a day. It's been a Monday. A productive Monday, but still a Monday. And if you don't follow me on Instagram or you're not on Instagram, chais are my new thing. I say new, but honestly, it's been for, I feel like, most of this year. But I think I've just realized recently that that's my thing and I'm not messing with it. I'd always hoped growing up that I would find like the exact coffee combo that I liked, and that would just always be my drink. And I could never find it. And it's just because I don't enjoy coffee. I don't enjoy the flavor, no matter how much is done to it or added to it. I just don't love it. I don't like the taste of it. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes it's all right and it's not like it's horrible to drink. But with my chais, I just feel like they're good all the time. I've had them every single way from Starbucks. Like, there's been times where I've forgot to put any syrup in them whatsoever. So there's been times where I've picked up a chai from there and it's just the chai concentrate and the milk, and it tastes fabulous to me. And I could never do that with coffee. Like, I have tried every way with coffee and it was never working for me. But the chai is great. A lot of people ask me if it's spicy or anything like that. There is spice with the black tea. That's what makes it a chai, the blend of spices that's in there, but it's by no means hot or overwhelming. But that's also going to depend on your chai to milk ratio, or if you even want to put milk in it. So I do about 1/3 chai concentrate to 2/3 oat milk. I like oat milk. I've tried almond. I even accidentally got cow's milk one time at Starbucks, and I would say the order in which it goes in for me is oat, almond, and then cow. All of them are okay. Some I feel like are better than others. That's just my opinion. So I get the Tazo, however you pronounce it, chai concentrate. I get the Oatly oat milk, which is the oat milk that Starbucks uses, and that's the ratio that I do it to. So if you had more of the concentrate, it would have more spice, more flavor, but that's the way I do it. That's the way it tastes the most like what I get at Starbucks when I actually order from there. And yeah, I love it. So if you're not a coffee drinker or just looking for like a different drink, I really like it. I always felt like I couldn't make a really good coffee at home either. And with these chais, like, I'm completely content. Like, I don't feel the need to go out and buy a chai from somewhere because they're so good at home with just the oat milk and just the concentrate. I've been really enjoying them. I highly recommend them. So that was a long-winded response on the chai, but guys, I'm in it for life. It's just delicious. It's easy. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And then lastly, I thought I would show you guys what I've been reading, or what I plan on reading, because I've got myself into quite a pickle. So, how old am I? Quite a pickle. So, I recently have started reading again. I've been just trying to swap my phone time for my book time. This is 2021. I'm definitely on my phone a considerable amount, but I've just tried to swap it, and especially when I'm trying to get through a book. So I had finished up Imaginary Friend, and I thought that was a really good horror book. It is super long, over 700 pages, but it's worth it. And it does kind of feel like the never-ending story about 3/4 the way through, but I promise you, when you power through, it's so good. It's a very unique take. I just loved it. I really did. I really enjoyed it. So there's that. So I got a new book. I have a couple holds of Colleen Hoover books, and also If You Tell, which is a true crime book. But those have several holds on them in front of me. And I was just kind of conflicted. I was like, I hate when you get in this situation. When I returned Imaginary Friend, because I had finished it, and knowing that I still had a couple weeks before my other holds would be here, I was like, what do I do? And, I told myself, just read something at home, because I have books here that I have not read. Did I listen to myself? No. So I was looking for another horror book because I really did enjoy Imaginary Friend so much. So the one that I went and got almost immediately after was The Lost Village. So I haven't gotten very far in this, like, at all, but so far, really good. Very intrigued, eager to see where it goes. So then I went to the library to pick up some of the requests that I had for the kids, And then I saw this, which is on my to-read list for this year. It's Billie Eilish by Billie Eilish. And I'm really glad that I got this at the library and I didn't buy it, because it's just like a lot of pictures and there are some captions and stuff, but it's not like a full length like biography or something like that, which I had assumed it was. So I got that because I do like Billie Eilish. That's not how you pronounce it, it's Eilish, but you know, jokes. Anyways, so then while I was in there and I saw the Billie book, I went over and I saw this book, which was actually the book that I wanted to get instead of The Lost Village. It's called The Book of Accidents. It's another horror book, and I really wanted this one, but it said that it wasn't there and that it wasn't gonna get returned for like 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, okay, that's why I got The Lost Village. Well, guess what? Got returned early. So I was like, I'm gonna grab that one too. And then I must have forgot, but I had also apparently put in a hold for this one, which is My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is another horror book. So I have 3 books that I need to read. I mean, 4 if you include the Billie Eilish book, but that essentially can be done anytime and at any pace because it's just a lot of looking. But I'm hoping these are, you know, considerably smaller than what I had accomplished in, I think Imaginary Friend took me 11 days, and it's not a race. It's not a race, okay? When people say how much they read or they don't read or something like that, please don't take it as a race. I have a really hard time with that myself, but I'm just saying, I'm wondering how I'm gonna get through all these books in the time that they need to be returned. So I'm just hoping that I can really power through and get like one of these books done in a few days, and this one being the longer of them. Normally I do only 1 book at a time. I know other people can read multiple books like all at the same go. I have a really hard time doing that. I just can't flip-flop between storylines that easily. I really focus on one, and that's the best way for me to read. But yeah, that's just a little bit of everything that's going on lately. The girls are doing super great in homeschool, and this year has been so much better than last year. You know, last year was just everybody learning and figuring it out and doing their best. And, you know, I don't look back to last year and think it was an awful time or anything, but it was really difficult for everybody to be, like, learning together. But, you know, this year we have a little bit more of an understanding and how they best learn. You know, my kind of attitude about certain things have changed as well. It's just a bit more relaxed, and I understand a lot more about myself, about the kids, about what needs to be done versus what, you know, whatever. So it's been great. It really has been. That's not to say that we don't have rough days or bad days or, you know, whatever. Those are definitely there too. I'm just saying, like, overall, as a whole, the experience this year has been easier on everybody, and I think more enjoyable as well. So yeah, it's been going really well. Lexi during school has been interesting. Thank you for the iPad. That's really all I can say about it. A lot of people ask me how I do it all. I don't do it all. My toddler is on educational apps and also sometimes watching Paw Patrol and Vivo on repeat just so we can get through our school day. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I can only do so much. You can only bend so far. You cannot split yourself into a bunch of mini people. But I would say overall it has been going really good. It's a chaotic and kind of crazy routine, but we do have one, and I just really want to thank you guys for being here in this season with me. You know, things are changing. The girls are getting older. I'm getting away from the baby content. You know, who knows how much longer I'll be doing the pumping content too. And you guys are always here every step of the way, and I really appreciate it. And just your support, your love, everything, whether it's to do with this channel or personally, if we talk, like whatever, like all of it, it does mean so much to me. And I just wanted to kind of check in with you guys and talk to you, and I need to do these more often because I love doing them. And let me know down in the comments below how you guys are doing, what your kids are being for Halloween, what you want to do this weekend, like whatever you want to talk about, I'm here to talk to you about in the comments. I'm looking forward to seeing them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.